Good morning. Well, late morning for me. This is probably almost 10. I like to be out of my garden around about 6, 7 in the morning, but I had things to do early this morning, so that pushed my gardening time back. So, this is my Dixie Queen watermelon coming along, and I saw this little brown spot on it. I touched it, and it's not it's not soft, but I think what that may have come from when the watermelon started growing, there were some of these sticks pushing up against it. So I hope that's what it is, and you know, nothing serious. I hope, because it's been coming along. We haven't had any rain for the past few days. I think it's been definitely 5 days since we've had since we that was a wasp came by, since we had some rain. And I'm so tempted to grab that water hose, but um, it's still growing. But this watermelon is being grown out of a pot, so I water that. I water that with my rainwater. Everything else is still doing its thing. In the back to Eden garden, the zucchini is producing its produce, and the corn. My corn is coming up. This is my second installment of corn. The other one is in my main garden over there. So these are coming up, looking healthy, looking good. These right here are some mammoth sunflowers that are coming up. The peanuts, the Tennessee red peanuts, they're doing good. I watered those because they're in containers. The sweet potatoes beside them, they're coming along. They're in the ground, and the vines the vines have really started taking off, because the vines start over here. They're even going up underneath the cucumbers, and they're coming around the peanuts, the sunflowers, and reaching over here towards the corn, and even going over towards the zucchini. So this morning I planted some pumpkin plants, 2 pumpkin plants. I tried before, in my homemade so-called fertilizer mix, I poured on the pumpkin plants, and they just died on me. So this is my second attempt at growing pumpkins. I hope they do well. I got them behind the corn and behind the watermelon pot, so they should receive a good amount of sun as they come up and hopefully get established. And there's an opening right there, so they should see that white butterfly. That's the type of moth. That's what's been wreaking havoc on my cabbage. Not my cabbage, my kale. Speaking of kale, so here I am. Let's take a look at what we have going on here. Wow, look at that. They are responding to being covered by the cheesecloth. They are responding. Look at the leaves. New growth. New growth right there and there. So they are responding, appreciating being covered. So if you're having issues with that white moth landing on your cabbage, your kale, your collard greens, and so forth, put a barrier in between the plant and the moth, such as cheesecloth. It's a thin barrier, plenty of air gets through and water gets through. So I'm happy to see this good results so far. All right, the tomatoes. The tomatoes in front of the cattle panel still have not grown any. However, I've got color. Looks so nice. I'm gonna let these continue to sun ripen. That plant about had it after I pulled them off. I'm gonna continue to let them sun ripen, pull them off. But some of these, This right here, oh, I have to get this. I've I've been making me some fried green tomatoes. They are so good. So this one, yes, I have to have this one for fried green tomato. And the rest of the tomatoes, I'm going to prepare a spaghetti sauce and put it in the freezer. So I have something over the winter, for fall or the winter. So these are looking really good. Really good. Now, the zucchini. Yesterday I had to pluck off 2 zucchini that I thought were fertilized and they weren't. So what I was trying to do was let the zucchini get pollinated by the insects. But what I thought they were pollinating the flowers, but I guess they're not getting to all the flowers. So yeah, I'm gonna have to continue to keep hand pollinating. So I got that one I got that zucchini today, and it's another one on the other plant I got also. Now, as far as hand pollinating the squash, it seems like I step back and let the insects get to it, and the insects on the squash plant are doing the pollination. I have another squash plant, and some squash look like they've been pollinated as well. So I don't know, maybe it's because in addition to the squash having the yellow flowers, it has the yellow fruit on it also. That may be helping it out too. Alright, so that's what's going on so far in the garden. I got some cucumbers over there that need to be picked or cut off. They're getting big. The cucumbers are producing really well. I actually gave some away the other day. And I'm just sitting out here, just looking things over, checking out all the different insects that are visiting my garden, seeing what their business are. And not only that, but just laying eyes on the different type of insects that come to your garden. Kind of gives you an idea of what to expect to come around certain plants and whatnot. Or if you see, or it helps you also to be able to spot potential pests that may be coming to do some harm to your garden. So it's always good to kind of like just sit and just look to see what insects are visiting your garden. You'll be able to spot your pollinators, the ones that are just maybe just stopping by, landing on a leaf for, I don't know, maybe just a rest. But the thing is you're able to look at it. Like I saw what I'm not sure, but it was I'm thinking it might be one of those type of insects that may do some harm to your cucumbers. It was yellow. It had yellow and black stripes on it. It was a flying insect. It was very small, and that caused me to pay attention. And so, if you go on the internet and you're looking up, certain types of garden pests, and then you see a picture of a garden pest, and it happens to be the same pest that you saw in your garden, then it'll help you to stay on the lookout of what's going, of what insects are visiting your garden. So that's one of the benefits of just taking time out. It's a peaceful thing to do, It also gives you time to pause and just think about things in life, what's going on in your life, or what you have mapped out for your day. And it's just a peaceful thing to do, to just sit and look over your garden to see what's going on. I would say it's kind of a tranquil moment, and it gives you an opportunity to really appreciate how God created and how God put things in order, and when you look at your garden and you see how everything has grown and it's so huge, and then it takes you back to looking at or thinking about when you planted everything, how your garden looked before everything grew up, and you think about those small seeds that everything came from, and you can't help but just think about how good and how awesome God is, and how He takes such a small seed to create such a huge and majestic creation of a plant. So huge. So it's always good to just take some time. Not to mention, as you're sitting in your garden, you're also listening to the sounds of the birds and the insects way up high in the sky. Not high in the sky, high in the trees. Or they could be in the sky making all that noise. And, just their different sounds. And also for me, I just sit and listen to the different sounds in my neighborhood, and listen to the wind blow, listen to the trees, the leaves rustling against the trees. It's good to just take time out to appreciate all that God has created and how He's put things into order to work for our good. So, just want to take a little moment, give you an update on my garden and what I'm doing. Hope everything works out for my little watermelon right here. Although I personally don't like watermelon, I'm doing this for the family. And hopefully it'll turn out good. And that little spot won't mean anything. Maybe it's just a little pigment issue, maybe. Or something. So, thanks for watching and have a great day. Especially a great day in your garden.